What up with the well? Hey, hope y'all are having a great night. Katie and I hate not being there with you. We had so much fun connecting with you last month, hearing about all God's doing in and through you, and are excited to be there with you next month. But this month we're in Denver, Colorado, or this week we're in Denver, where Pastor Ernest and his team that used to lead theWell moved and are actually launching their church, Front Range Christian Church, this weekend. So we're here to celebrate that with them and are really excited, but wanted to take just a minute to shoot you a video and talk a little bit with you about competency. Competency, by definition, is the ability to be successful or effective at doing something. Now, if you were to do maybe a evaluation of your competencies, maybe some of you got some basketball skills, you would say you're competent in a jump shot. Maybe you got some presentation skills, you're a good communicator. I actually saw a guy driving up Highway 17 the other day that had a sign or words printed on the back of his car that said granite skills. That's different. Brother got some competency, you know. But whatever the case, in Matthew 16:18, Jesus reminds us that it's his job to build the church, and that it's our job to make disciples. And so if you were to evaluate your personal competency when it comes to making disciples, some of you might feel kind of comfortable in your own skin, and others of you might say like, man, I know me a little too well and I've got some work to do, you know. But the good news for you is that the word disciple literally means learner, and that God would never call you to do something that he wouldn't equip or anoint you to do. And so for each of us, when it comes to competency, both in our personal lives and in the people that we're discipling, the competency to be used by God to radically change the life of another is a lifelong journey. And man, it's something that kind of like a toddler walking. You're gonna fall. It ain't gonna be pretty at first, but if you're faithful to the harder work, God will do it through you. Oftentimes as leaders, especially when we see God moving and lives being impacted and people being blessed, it's easy for us to get caught up in the numbers or the size of the ministry or the scope of the impact and not be attentive to the individual life. But we just have to remember, we got to be disciplined in knowing that if anything happened to me today or Katie, or if anything happened to you, that large mass of people that may be a part of some ministry would dissolve. But what would remain is the hard work that you've done investing your life and helping them become disciples, men and women after God's own heart. So I wanted to take just a minute to let Katie share with you just some ways that some women who have kind of faithfully walked this journey with her have increased her capacity to encourage you, and knowing not only for your own capacity in making disciples or competency in making disciples, but in the lives of others, that God will do it. So love, share a little bit.
Yeah, so hi, it's good to see you guys. I do wish we were there with you, and Shannon and Trevin, thank y'all so much for hosting and opening up our home. Just so grateful for you.
That's right.
So when I think about competency, that definition you said about being successful or effective, it is a little intimidating to me sometimes to think about making disciples effectively. But one of the ways that I've seen God grow me in the past couple years has been with the people that he's brought beside me, and people that I believe that are competent that he's brought into my life that have really sharpened me. And I have two examples of those women that are there with you tonight. Actually, the first is Shannon Link, and she leads the Encourager group with me, which is a group that I feel called by God to disciple and pour into in our church. And she has been such a beautiful complement to that ministry. I knew there was lots of things that I was not competent in that I needed her to help me in really pouring into and making disciples of those leaders. And she has done that 100 times over. And I believe that I've grown from watching her be intentional and rhythmic and steady, and to be able to just be some of the things that I don't do a great job of when it comes to disciple making. And another example is Rebecca Lindsay, who's also there with you. And one of the other areas that I feel called to make disciples in the life of our church is with pastors and women pastors and leaders and the pastors' wives. And Rebecca does that so beautifully and so naturally. You all know she's very confident in disciple making. So I've been able to watch with just eyes wide open to how she does that in such a rhythmic, intentional way, where she is very invitational, but she also does the hard work of challenge, which is something that does not come as natural to me. So that's just my encouragement to you, is that if there's some areas that you lack competency in, to be able to know that God's brought people into your path for a reason, and there are things that you actually do well just naturally that they're going to grow into from watching you. So just to enjoy who He brings into your path and allow them to sharpen you is one of my greatest encouragements if you're feeling a lack of competency in the area of disciple making. And also the encouragement that that's a good thing, right? So we're supposed to feel weak. It's in our weakness that then He's made strong, and that we are then learners. So
that's good. Hey, somebody turn to Shannon and Rebecca, give them a high five, say, "You go, girl." That's what I'm talking about. Well, hey, we hate not being there with you. We look forward to connecting next month, and just want you to be encouraged. God is and can and will do incredible things through you as you allow your competency to be stretched and grow. Also, as you see the gifting in others and call it out of them, that they would step into all God has for them. So we'll see you next month. Look forward to hanging out.
yeah, love you guys.